in a desperate attempt to replicate my TikTok virality, I'm gonna make the exact same video. I'm gonna recycle all of my jokes just on a different platform. The concept of this video is that I'm gonna judge actors based on talent and whether or not I consider they would be as successful as they are if they weren't traditionally attractive. I will be mean. So if you are an actor and your face is on the screen right now, just go away, okay? Needless to say that this is my opinion. You are allowed to disagree. My opinion comes from an educated point of view because I am a film graduate and specifically I want to pursue directing, so I really care about people's performances and I am a very harsh critic. Everything I say, take with a grain of salt because I am a little bitch. Let's take a moment to talk about the tiers. This is the best I could do. I'm not a very funny person. On the top tier, we have God's favorite boy. And in that tier, you have to be both exceptionally pretty, but aggressively talented. This is God tier. It's a very exclusive club. Then we have Daddy's second favorite. In this tier, it's going to be the people that are just very talented, but there's just something missing. Then we have making Narcissus proud. On this tier, I'm going to place actors who have a lot of potential, but I feel like they're trapped in their image and they're trying to just be the pretty boy of any movie they're on. Then we have Fire Your Agent. On this tier, I'm gonna put pretty boys who I feel like have potential, but their agents are so bad at choosing good enough roles for them that they're just kind of trapped in their own image and on a perpetual flopping cycle. And on the last tier, we have trying sometimes is not enough. And on that tier, we have just some pretty boys who have nothing going for them apart from their looks. Okay, let's start with one that I feel very passionate about. We have Jeremy Sumter. Jeremy's career is one that truly breaks my heart. He is exceptionally beautiful. His portrayal of Peter Pan was one that I think nobody would be able to surpass. I've never seen anyone portray Peter better, but his entire career since then has gone so downhill that it truly breaks my heart into a million trillion pieces. So unfortunately, Jeremy has to go to Fire Your Agent. I think he could have a comeback when he's about 40 years old with like a completely fresh start. Here was an amazing child actor in that one performance that we all know him from as Baby Voldemort, and then he was cursed to be cast in one of the most neglectful productions of all time, which is the After series. This is not a production with any sort of artistic integrity whatsoever, so I feel like he was cursed to not be really taken care of as a young talent because I don't feel like he has the training that he needs in order to have a good enough performance. There's people who have talent and are born with talent and can just achieve greatness without even trying, and then there's people who have talent that needs to be harvested, and I feel like Hero is one of those people, and he's so deeply unfortunate to be in a production that gives zero direction to the actors. It genuinely feels like they just roll the cameras and they just let him do whatever he wants. He's putting so much effort in the wrong direction, so I would put him in Fire Your Agent because I feel like he does have potential. He's trying so much, he's giving it his all. He should try to do something more low-key, a kind of performance that's like subtle. Now let's talk about one of my favorite boys. Timothy and I have been like this for his entire career. I scouted him in a movie called 1 and 2 and I was like, this boy is so gorgeous and he has so much raw talent. I want him to succeed. Then I saw him in Interstellar and I was really sad that he didn't have more scenes. Randomly, I came across Call Me By Your Name and it changed my entire life. This movie has been my entire personality since it came out and have been rooting for this boy ever since. Since he became so exponentially successful in such a young age, I feel like he became slightly full of himself. And how can we really blame him when the entire female population is treating him as the second coming of baby Jesus? And that has resulted into him giving quite plain performances, especially in movies like Dune. I feel like he keeps recycling face expressions. I don't know how to better explain this, but I just feel like he doesn't try that much anymore. I feel like he doesn't really put a lot of effort because he has natural talent and it's easy for him to act, but he doesn't really push himself at all. And by doing blockbusters, there is really not any challenge, and he is cast because of who he is. So for that reason and that reason alone, he's gonna go in and making Narcissus proud, okay? So Cole Sprouse and I go way back. Him and his brother were in my favorite Disney Channel show, Zac and Cody, and I was obsessed with them, especially Cole. When I was a kid, I was really obsessed with playing Playmobiles, and I had like a little figurine that was blonde, and I was calling him Cody, and he was always my boyfriend, and I had such a crush on him. Cole and his brother don't have raw talent as performers. They never were good at what they did. Even when they were kids, they were not delivering. However, when you're a Disney Channel actor, you don't really need to do much. You just need to stand there, say your lines quickly, don't mesh up a lot of takes and just be hardworking. I feel like him and his brother don't really have a passion for the art and the craft of acting. I feel like they were pushed into this career in such a young age because they had so much success and fame and made so much money. I feel like now they're back to this career as a job. Cole is really not trying at all with his performances or with the films that he chooses to make. He's just trying to do something that takes as little effort as possible, especially in the theme of the films as well. Like, it seems like he just wants to do the bare minimum. He doesn't want to be in hard conditions. He just wants to be in a vibey space and just like do his thing and just leave. This is all he does. Like, he just wants to show up on set, say his little lines, look cute and leave. I respect the hassle, but I am tired of seeing him be so mediocre because he has no passion. I'm just sad to see him take space in an industry where other people don't have as many opportunities as him. He's not even trying. Like, I want to put him here. Performance wise, he's one of the weakest on the list. They do not belong in the same genre, but they have the same vibe, like the same attitude almost. For arrogance alone, he goes in the third tier. Then let's talk about his brother. I feel partially bad for Dylan because he's kind of fading into irrelevancy, and he is the prettier brother for sure. He is trying with his performances. He's not choosing the easiest roles per se. Like, he did challenge himself by making a Chinese movie, but sometimes trying is not enough. I'm sorry, Dylan, you're very pretty. I think you could do a lot in modeling. Let's talk about Tom Holland. Tom Holland is perceived as very handsome, but in reality he's just a boy, and that says a lot. He has so much charisma, he's so hardworking, and he's really willing to go above and beyond for any performance that he makes. I scouted him when he was a baby. I watched a video on YouTube that he was Billy Elliot, and I was like, this kid, his face is very special. I really want to see where he goes. And then I remember I kept searching his name until he had an actual Wikipedia, and then I watched his first movie, The Impossible, a flawless child actor. He was incredible. Then he was in one of my favorite movies, How I Live Now, and from then on he has just been doing performance after performance after performance. He is insanely talented and I respect him so much. So for that reason, he's one of God's favorite boys for sure. He genuinely deserves it, and I can see him winning an Oscar when he grows up. Kit is the main love interest in the Heartstopper series, and I was very pleasantly surprised. He is a very natural performer. He doesn't feel like he's like Hollywood trained, which makes sense because he's still a baby. I was very happy that he was being very subtle. He was doing a lot with his performance. I can see a lot in his future, genuinely. He has the quality to become a very decent actor, and I think he genuinely belongs in Daddy's second favorite for sure. I expect a lot from this boy. Let's talk about Ryan, shall we? Mr. Ryan didn't really have a career until he started portraying himself, and since he started doing that, he has made billions. He is an extremely funny man. He has a lot of charm, but he cannot portray anyone other than who he is exactly. So for that reason, he should go to making actors proud. Noah is a very interesting case because he did one successful movie, and since then every movie that he did was the exact same role repeated with like a different font. Noah can only portray himself, and nobody wants to hire him because who he is annoying. So he goes to trying sometimes is not even enough. Dylan O'Brien for sure should fire his agent. This is my first advice. Dylan, just fire him. He is really doing you dirty. Dylan is a very charismatic and talented actor. However, he has been very unfortunate with the movies that he's done so far, and I feel like he needs to shift genres for sure. He is doing kind of thrillery, adventure stuff, and although he's good at it, I don't think they have the success that he needs. And in Hollywood, if you don't do successful movies, people just put you on a blacklist and they never hire you for anything again. I want him now to mostly focus on doing indie and underground projects, and hopefully his career could skyrocket by him being exceptional in very underground movies. For example, I think he could have done really well in a movie called Sound of Metal. I do not want the actual protagonist to be recast, but I think this is the sort of movies that he should try to get cast on. Okay, now let's talk about this very pretty boy. He was in a show called The Wheel of Time, which was one of the tackiest shows I've ever come across. I only watched a couple of episodes because his performance was so painful. I couldn't believe it. I was genuinely speechless, and I totally understand why it is necessary for the cast of a show to be pleasant looking, because all of the people are looking at them in the production. Nobody wants to like spend 50 hours editing somebody who isn't that attractive, and I talk from experience. I have to edit my own videos and it is painful to watch. My boy Nicholas is one of those boys that are so handsome. He's all over my Pinterest board. He has talent, but it's not really in acting. I don't feel like he can do it. He really cannot, but he's very, very pretty. He's also a bit trapped in his image. He's just making Daddy Narcissus proud for sure. Ansel is one of those actors that I was obsessed with when I was a teenager because he was in a John Green movie, and John Green is genuinely the reason that I exist, okay? Actually, I was wearing color-tinted glasses up until the SA allegations, and ever since then, I cannot even look at him with a straight face, like he makes me want to vomit, and his performances are extremely flat. It feels like he always does the exact same thing. He has a very flirty attitude, and even if he's like talking to the wall, like he does not do anything with his acting. He just looks constantly confused. He has talent in other areas, but I think he ruins every movie he's on. Now let's talk about Ben Barnes. Ben Barnes is in one of my favorite shows, Shadow and Bone, and I know the show is not like a cinematic masterpiece, but it is a show that I am obsessed with because it just makes me happy and gives me fuzzy feelings. It's like my new Twilight kind of thing. And Ben Barnes has room to improve. Okay, he leaves a lot to be desired from his performances. His looks have served him well. The Diary is an extremely handsome man. I wanted to punch his handsome face. In all fairness, I wanted to punch the entire cast. I do not understand how the show was made. Okay, Tom is looking very lonely up there. Who else would go in God tier? So let's talk about Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson has never given a bad performance in his entire life. Some of his movies may not be the best technically, but he has been great in them. He is a solid actor. Robert Pattinson is one of those actors that completely immerses himself in his characters. He keeps growing, and I feel like for the past 10 years at least, there has not been a bad performance in his filmography. He gets so much hate to this day because he was in Twilight 20 years ago, but Twilight is a good film. It's a solid movie. You cannot say that it was not made with so much love and so much effort. You cannot tell me that those films are lazily made, okay? And his performance as Edward is iconic. He hated being Edward, yet he tried so much to be great at it, and he succeeded. And since Twilight, he has been extremely smart with his career moves. His agent needs a promotion, and now he's freaking Batman, and he was insane. I can see Robert become one of those actors that gets nominated for an Oscar every single year once people stop being prejudiced against him and actually take him seriously, because I feel like he has been robbed 2 Oscars so far in his career, one for Good Time and one for The Lighthouse, and he was not even nominated. It is genuinely offensive how he's still not taken seriously when he is genuinely one of the greatest performers alive in this day. And if you have a different opinion about it, you're just simply wrong. I hate you. I will make sure to live forever just to kill you and then resurrect you and then kill you again, okay? You are in danger if you have anything negative to say about Robert Pattinson. Get out of here. I don't want you here. Now let's talk about Chris Evans. Okay, Chris is a very sweet guy. There is a subgenre of actors that are decent. They don't ruin anything they're on, but they're just actors, you know? This is their job. They are trained. They're not offensively bad, but they're just there. Chris is one of those actors that I never feel like he is miscast. He's just not an excellent performer, and that's okay. He's not even trying to be cast in roles that would showcase his acting skills. He just wants to do movies because he loves what he does. His looks have taken him far enough. Harry Styles has made some very interesting choices in his acting career so far. Although I'm quite skeptical about the new trailer of his upcoming movie, I was very satisfied with his performance in Dunkirk, and I feel like from the choices that he's making so far, I can see him make some good movies in the future. I do not think that he has a particular incline into acting. I don't think he was born with the talent, but I feel like he is learning some skills and I feel like he's using them well. I think he would be best in movies like Dunkirk, where there's not much happening. They just have to react instinctively. I don't think he will ever be nominated for an Oscar or anything like that. So for that alone, I would say he's making Narcissus proud. He's doing well enough, but I don't think, no. Okay, he's that, come on. It's Harry Styles. This doesn't mean that the people are here are better actors than the people are here. Only the God tier are the ones that you should take seriously. Everything else is more fluent than that. Andrew is one of those actors that I had a very negative opinion of his career, but I feel he's one of those that has improved the most, and that proves that talent alone doesn't take you far. You need to actually work hard as well. He's Daddy's second favorite. He isn't that unique as a performer, but he's genuinely trying and he's genuinely improving. So I am proud of him, and his daddy is for sure there. Ian Somerhalder. I have been requested to talk about Ian quite a lot, and I feel like it's quite unfair for us to judge television actors in the same standards as film actors. And that is because TV actors are kind of left on their own devices and they don't have much time to rehearse or to consider their character's motivation on every single scene. They kind of have to just do the same thing again and again and again, and they get bored, and from one point onwards, maybe 2-3 seasons in a show, their performance becomes just extremely flat. But I feel like he did a great job at making Damon a character in which which we can empathize with. His character arc was quite interesting. He has made a name for himself and he's only been in one famous TV show, so I think he's making narcissists proud. Now let's talk about Jared and Jensen. They are both known for the same show, Supernatural, which again should only have 5 seasons, and anything above that was just unnecessary. And Jared is the less talented of the two. I don't feel like his performances really do much. I feel like since season 1 and 2 he hasn't really improved at all. As for Jensen, I might be biased, but I feel like Jensen is quite talented as a performer. In all fairness, I have only seen him in Supernatural. I don't think I've ever seen him on anything else. And I remember when I was younger, I was just completely mind blown by his performance. The end of season 2, the entire season 3, and just up until season 5, I feel like he was quite a great actor. But I think he made some very horrible career choices. It's been rumored that he turned down the role of Arrow for the Marvel Avengers movie, and that was the stupidest decision he has ever made in his entire life. I really wish he had gotten the chance to be Captain America because I think he could have done quite well, but I am so sad that he didn't end up in the Marvel universe because that would actually elevate him from a TV actor to a movie actor. So I would put him in Fire Your Agent. I feel like he had potential at some point, but he doesn't really try anymore. Zac Efron is one of the most talented actors of his generation and he should definitely fire his engine. I feel like he belongs in God tier, and let me explain. Zac Efron has so much talent. He is again one of those actors that elevate any movie they're on. He's so good at expressing emotions, even with his eyes. You can read his eyes and know what he's feeling. He's really putting his all in everything that he does. He's very competitive with his acting. However, he has made the worst decisions possible. I do not know why he hasn't made it into the Marvel universe, because again, I feel like he's one of those people that really benefit from being in a massive franchise like that. But I feel like nobody takes him seriously since his high school days, and this is really bad for his career because he kind of established himself as like a hot guy and not a talented guy, and he never picked a movie that ruined his image. He has the potential to genuinely be remembered forever. I want to put him in God tier because I want him to remember his true potential. No more thrillers, no more action movies, just focus on dramas. Try to find something indie and experimental and just try to sharpen up your acting skills because you are so good, okay? You deserve better. You deserve the world. This is Jonathan Bailey, okay? I don't know why his whole face is cut off. I'm so sorry. He is immediately God tier. His performance in Bridgerton has been insane. Season 1 and season 2, he's portraying like different characters because they changed creative directions with his personality, but he really showed us what it's possible to be achieved from a TV actor under stressed circumstances. It's like you're watching somebody be possessed. It's like everything about him is different. He's changing the tone of his voice, the way he carries himself. Like there's some actors like Timothée Chalamet that he is the same in every movie. He walks the same, he carries himself the same, like he makes the same faces, but with Jonathan, it's like he looks genuinely possessed. He is not the same person in real life, and in every role he does something completely different, and I am so happy for him. It's so refreshing to see actors try so hard in TV shows like that. Henry Cavill, he's so pretty that he doesn't even have to try, and he knows, so he doesn't. Jake Gyllenhaal is very talented. I don't think that he ever achieved anything because of his looks. I feel like he's a decently talented guy. He is really challenging himself a lot. I do think that he could be nominated for Oscars in the future, but I just don't think that he's top tier in my opinion. And Ryan Gosling is in the same genre. I think he has established himself to be a good actor, but I don't think that he has more to give. I think he's done so many diverse performances and he has shown us what he can do so far, and like he's quite great, but not one of the greats. And I think that goes for DiCaprio as well. He established himself to be a great actor. There is something there that has kept him stagnated. He is a great actor for sure, and he will be remembered as one of the greats, but I feel like now, because there's so much more fresh talent, he's kind of getting overshadowed by others, and that's okay. Now let's talk about James McAvoy, okay? James made me have an existential crisis as a child. He was playing Mr. Tumnus on Narnia. I was genuinely feeling intense emotions for this little goat, and I was so confused as a child. Him and Jack and Cody were the first 2 people that I ever googled when we had our first laptop, because I wanted to see where their career took them. He is one of the most explosively charismatic people I have ever seen. He is so insanely talented. I don't know why he doesn't have an Oscar yet. He's so insanely ridiculously talented, and he brings so much to every role that he ever does. I think he needs to start experimenting with the roles, because he is established as an actor. He will never stop having jobs. I for sure put him on God tier. He's a daddy. He's, oh my goodness, he's the best. Now let's talk about Sebastian Stan. I feel like he's really one of those actors that are trying a lot in their career, and he's not being lazy. He has charisma, he's talented, he's handsome, and he doesn't allow his looks to be the only thing that he cares about. And recently, especially, he's making a lot of indie films. I don't think that he's like the most talented actor in Hollywood, but he is definitely running up to be one of the good ones. I respect the career choices that he's made so far in life. Okay, Brad Pitt, he's so lazy. He's so pretty, but like if he wasn't pretty, he would not have gone anywhere in his career. Genuinely, I don't think he does anything special. He's extremely charming. He has improved in his life, and that one scene in Joe Black will forever be engraved in my memory as one of the most ideal men to have ever existed ever. It hurts to look at him, but I don't think that he tried that much in his career. He has let his pretty face take him so far in life. Finally, we have Tom Hiddleston. Tom is extremely charismatic, and he is perceived again as beautiful and charming because he is so talented. I think again he's one of those actors that have reached his truest potential. All I want for him is to stop doing Marvel movies, because I feel like everyone knows him as Loki and nobody really pays any attention to any of the other movies that he makes. So I really hope that soon they will like finish his arc as Loki, just so he can have other employment opportunities in the future and people will focus more on his talent other than him being just a sexy villain. He made sexy villains be a thing. He was one of the first that really made this kind of thing extremely mainstream in our decade. So I think he has done great so far in life. That is second favorite. If you want to do part 2 with actresses, please let me know in the comments below. I would be more than willing to do that. For all of those that found themselves here through TikTok, I would like to deeply thank you for giving my YouTube channel a chance. I have been trying to do this for a few years now, and I feel like I have finally found my niche and what I'm really passionate about. So I really hope that you enjoy this type of content. I was about to say I flew through this video, but I just realized that I have 15 minutes worth of footage. God help me.